So, with all the craziness of pro football life, both the super highs and the lows, the money, the
Yeah.
fame, how does your relationship with Jesus just keep you grounded?
I think it's really the only thing that can keep you grounded. Um, it's funny, whenever I go, I speak to some high schools, middle schools, in different areas, usually wherever I'm training. And the first thing I'll tell them, I'm like, all right, guys, understand this right now. I have a fast car, I can get fast money, and there's a lot of fast women who probably want to talk to me. There's only one reason why I'm here, like with you 12-year-old kids right now, and it's because of what Jesus Christ has done in my life. And and I think that when the Spirit starts moving in us, it's kind of like, okay, none of that stuff looks attractive to us as much anymore. So it's natural that we start moving away from it. But then it doesn't take too long till you get around your other brothers in the NFL locker room and you start seeing like, man, this isn't normal. Like the life that the guys that I was around with the Eagles in that locker room, like it wasn't normal, the things that they weren't doing on the weekends. The things that we did when we spent time together, being with those guys in that locker room, like it just wasn't, kind of, our deal to kind of do some of the things that we saw, other guys doing. It wasn't like we were just trying like super hard. It was just because of what the Spirit was already doing in us. And so, but then I go to other teams and then like I'm like, hey guys, you want to go do this? And guys are trying to, they want to go do, the other things for recreation. They want to go do some of the things that I guess I wasn't accustomed to anymore, when I was with the Eagles. And so, but at the same time, I really just feel like throughout the whole course of being on now 3 teams in 3 years, my relationship with Christ has it's literally been the main thing that kept me grounded the whole time, just because I knew the truth. I think so many times, we get caught up in the lies of, oh, this thing is going to be this next thing, this is going to be the one that takes the cake. This next sin, this next night out, this is going to be the one. I tell so many guys, like, I don't even think you're addicted to partying. I think you're really addicted to the spontaneity of the night, not knowing what the night might bring. Trust me, when I go out with my wife, I know what the rest of the night looks like. You know what I mean? Like, but it's still great. Like, don't get me wrong. So, but at the same time, though, I think that's what a lot of guys are addicted to, and it's like, man, like, no, like, I love the fact that I know that God is my substance, that Jesus Christ is telling me, hey, this is what you're called to do. This is who I'm calling you to be, for your wife, for your teammates, for your family. And so the next few days, like, I got them mapped out, but I know it's all for His glory. And so that's really where I find a lot of my balance, and that's where really all of my balance. And so it's definitely different, I guess, from what I've seen. But I tell you what, man, it's the main reason why I love telling guys about Christ, because I know it can really take them away from those other things they're chasing.
One other thing that I want to get you to speak to is, what does it mean for you that this life isn't all that there is, that there really is an eternity, and what does it look like for you to live in light of eternity?
Man, so actually watched a sermon one time, and this pastor did an illustration about that. Actually, he had this like long rope, and he had the handle of the rope, and he kind of was like, hey, this is your life. Right here you were born, right here you went to college, right here you got married, right here you had kids, right here you're trying to get that job offer, you finally get it, and he said, and then the rest of this, and it was just a long rope, and just kept going. He's like, that's eternity. He said, so many times I see people worrying about this, and this, and not making decisions, for the rest of that. And I think it was just that visual, that really stuck with me, because, for me, it's like, man, I'm in a competitive field when it comes to football. And I think the reason why you see a lot more outwardly faith in football than you may be seeing other professional sports is because football is the most like real life. Nothing's guaranteed, no guaranteed contracts. There's a lot of pain. There's people who make a ton of money, and there's a lot of guys really who are scraping the bottom, in the NFL sense. And so I think when you see a lot of that, like faith is going to be involved. There's going to be a lot more guys that have to say like, man, what is this really all about? Like I could get I go be making a tackle tomorrow and my whole career could be over. You know, there's been guys who have died playing the game of football. And so over time you're like, man, you know, this thing that was my identity, this thing that if I played well, then it was like the greatest thing ever. If I lost, then I'm in the dumps. It's like, am I going to continue to ride this roller coaster? Or am I going to start making decisions now that actually have an impact for eons, for the rest of my, you know, for my life, you know, with God? And so now I would say the biggest thing that has changed in my life, Paul, honestly, is I see people. Like before, when I didn't think about eternity, when I didn't have a full grasp of what, you know, God was doing, and even like a little small semblance of who he was, I did not see people, bro. Like it was just, you know, what's Jordan doing? How if I met somebody, how is this person going to help me get to where I need to be? It's kind of funny. You'll see stuff like people say, yeah, if that person's not making you better, they're not don't be friends with that person. It's like, well, I think maybe in some cases, but I think sometimes you just need to befriend somebody just so you can kind of help them out. Sometimes they might need to see, you know, Christ, and you might have to be that vessel. And so I think the biggest thing now is, Paul, is like, you know, I see people like, it can be a random guy that I think hasn't had, you know, a hello that day. And where I would totally walk past that person before, I'm like, man, hey, we got to spend a lot of time together after we die, so I might as well say hi to this guy. And so I think that's the biggest thing, man. It's changed everything. It's made me a lot more peaceful. You know, when I look at people now, and it's just the honest truth. I don't look at them as coach, player, doctor, mom, boss, dad. Is this person saved or are they unsaved? And how do I be Christ that person? So it's really how.
Thanks.
Yeah.